Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Okay, hang on. We've got issues. All right, we don't have issues. It said that I had a low sort of internet connection, but I don't know where I would. But I just want to say good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is doing wonderfully on this Thursday post V-Day day. And I just felt inspired today. My name is Victoria Lorient-Fabish. I am a relationship expert, a registered psychotherapist, and I felt inspired today to talk a little bit about some of the destroyers of relationships, good relationships. And I encounter this all the time in my office, and people ask me about it on my YouTube channel. Hop on over there sometimes, Ask Victoria, and people ask me, what makes for a good relationship. So I thought I'd put a video out. Hi, Joel, how's it going? I thought I'd put a video out about, something that is very sort of useful, and people can sort of recognize they're doing this and stop. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Harvey. Thanks for joining me, folks. These are important topics, and I'm taking this right out of Chapter 8 in Connecting, Rewire Your Relationship Culture, which is a key, this is the book that I've written about relationships, essentially. In Chapter 8, this is my chapter called Relationship Rescue 911. Meaning, we can rescue our relationships that are difficult, that are flawed, that are in patterns of dysfunction. And so in Chapter 8, I really talk a lot about John Gottman. John Gottman I'm going to go to a conference in Washington, in March, where John Gottman is facilitating some incredible workshops, as is Esther Perel. These are all sort of the greats of relationship counseling and couples counseling. So I love to study with these great people. At any rate, when I talk about the destroyers of relationships, a lot of my information comes from a gentleman called John Gottman, who's sort of the father of couples therapy. And he talks about the 4 horsemen of destruction, which is just a great term. But the key 4 ones, just so you know, and I'm just taking it right out of my book here. All right. Number 1. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. Criticism. Okay, I'm going to give you the 4 right off the bat, so we're not keeping you in suspense. Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. Whenever I see a couple for couples therapy, I'm looking for those 4. But the one I'm looking for the most is contempt. And contempt is like disdain, is like a lack of respect. It's like, I just don't even want you in the same room. If you've gotten to that place, I would say that it's almost beyond repair, because the respect level is so down. The valuing of each other is so down. So contempt is a huge one. And also another huge one is criticism, a habituation of always criticizing the other person, trying to criticize, tell them how they're wrong, telling them how they do not measure up, how they are less than. And this activity often comes from family of origin, from family culture behaviors. You're kind of used to it. It's like this. One of the worst things I see in the human condition is whatever we think is going on with us, we think other people should be living that. So I often hear, well, I do this and I do that and I'm good at this and I'm good at that and I love to do this and the other person should too. Why? Try not to measure how other people's behavior should be based on how you behave. Behave that way for yourself. Do that work for yourself. And understand that another person has the choice to behave in that way or not. And if you're not a match, then have the courage to distance oneself or to draw clear boundaries or express yourself vulnerably and say, hey, I would really love it if you could engage in this type of behavior, whatever it may be, thoughtfulness, whatever it may be. And vulnerably ask for what you need. But don't go about the business of tearing someone down with criticism, because all that does is it brings you both to resentment and disdain, which really is the massive destroyer. Defensiveness. Wow. I mean, we've all engaged in it. It's the, what do you mean by that? energy, or the really. Well, let me just tell you. This is defensiveness energy, right? And we all have engaged in it. I have. I mean, I've been in a 25-year relationship, and for sure I have. But the point is catch yourself. Become conscious of yourself. Decide that you want to engage in the adult realm versus the child realm, because defensiveness is the child realm. And not being defensive, sort of not taking things personally, allowing other people to have their opinion, clearly expressing what doesn't work for you and what does work for you. These are the counteractions to defensiveness behavior. And defensiveness behavior can come on very unconsciously, and people can become very unaware of their defensiveness. And defensiveness comes from a sense of insecurity within. And so I really encourage people to work on their sense of confidence, their sense of self-love and self-respect and self-value and filling their own cup. That will bring down the energies of defensiveness. And hi, everyone who's joining. I really appreciate you. And a big one, a huge one, is stonewalling. Have you ever been in a fight and you're just like, I'm out of here. I'm tapping out. I'm out. And then talk to the hand, or silent treatment for days. Oh my gosh. If anyone has grown up in a household where parents silent treatment each other for days, and I understand that, believe me, it is so destructive to kids and so destructive to each other, because the re-entry is so difficult. I think it's important to take space when you're feeling overly triggered, overly angry, overly sad, overly defensive. Take your space, no problem. But tell the person, that your partner, the friend, doesn't matter if it's a relationship or a friendship, tell the person that you're coming back, that you're just processing, that you're needing some space, that you're just needing some space. But, the kids today call it ghosting, just ghosting, which I find a hilarious terminology. But also stonewalling. This is all basically coming from a place of, I don't have the courage to tell you my truth, or I don't have the tools to tell you my truth. I'm afraid that how it's going to come out is too destructive, too angry. Or I'm afraid that if I speak to you in my truth, that I will destroy us. So I'd rather take, total ghosting. But you've got to do it in a way that is honoring of the relationship, which is, I'm taking time away, but I'm taking time away in a way that I say, I'll be back in an hour, I'll be back in 2 hours, I'll be back in a half a day. You owe the relationship, we all do, a sense of respect, that if you're going to take space and silence, that you're telling people that you're not abandoning them and leaving them high and dry, and that you're coming back. And essentially, when you're engaging in these destructive behaviors, defensiveness, criticism, stonewalling, disdain. John Gottman really talked a lot about those. If you're engaging in any one of those, just take a step back and observe, because how is the state of the relationship? If those are going on consistently, I doubt the relationship is going well, because the level of respect is not there. So awareness is key, but awareness alone can do nothing. You need repetition. You need to choose to do a new behavior. You need to decide that you want to do something differently, because repetition is the only way out of the old behavior, the old patterning. So awareness plus courage plus repetition and persistence equals change. But awareness alone will do nothing. So are you engaging in that? Are you engaging in these 4 areas in your relationship? And if yes, go about the business of trying to change that. Go see a therapist, read my book, Connecting, Rewire Your Relationship Culture, and also become aware and then choose to do something different in the moment. You do not have to be at the mercy of your repetitious patterns. Period. You can do something different. You can rewire your brain by directing your brain to do something differently. And when you decide to do something differently, you have an opportunity to change the outcomes. I hope this was helpful to you. We're doing short videos on relationships. If you ever find yourself wanting to ask me questions as to what you would like me to speak on, just drop me a private message, or do it on this video, and I'll be reading all the comments. But essentially, hop on over to my website, which has tons of resources, all my new videos, online courses. We've got a long-term passionate marriage course that is awesome, that you can access through my website or through Udemy. And also we have Dating in the Modern World, which is a really good course. All this month we've got discounts going on for February, and then March we'll have discounts on for other ones. But check that out, because you really owe yourself, if you feel like you are experiencing repetitious, unhealthy relationship ways of experiencing each other, you can change it. You can change it. That is the good news, is you can change it. You do not have to be at the mercy of old family of origin ways of doing things, old family culture way of doing things. You can rewire your relationship culture. Have yourself a fantastic day. It's not as sunny here in Toronto this time, but that's okay, because I'm bringing the sun. I'm bringing the sun. All right. Take it easy. Blessings. Talk soon. All right.